Friday. Oh, thank goodness it is Friday. We made it, y'all. We made it. Can you please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay? Good to see everybody. The last 24, Jamie, Thumper, Mandy, Bestie, Pokey. How is everybody? Yes, please wrap up your fur babies if you are where it's cold out and where we're getting the storms at. It is so cold, so cold. I feel bad for all the stray cats in my area. I'm not even a cat person. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hi, Carol. Hello, everyone. So excited to be here. Before we start, let me just say, sounds like Bronx is over there choking. Let me just say everything is alleged in our opinion only. We're doing part 2 of our pictures. We should be able to get through all of them today. I did find one thing just within the past couple minutes that I found a little bit interesting. I want to share one thing before we get into the pictures. Other than that, that is our agenda for tonight. Hi, Christina. Good to see you. Hi, Dawn. Hey, Tilted. Hey, Soul Sister. How you doing? All right, so I'm going to share this really quick from Birdie's channel. Just in case people did not hear it, I do want to just make sure that everyone has heard this because it is important. So this is the officer making a very interesting statement. And let me make it bigger. There we go. So I got this from Birdie's channel last night. It was just easier for me to find. It is also on Connor's channel, and I believe it's on Devil's Advocate's channel as well. I just couldn't find them as fast. So I'm just going to play Birdie's. So thank you, Carol. Thank you, Mandy. All right, guys, let's play this real quick before we get into the second set of pictures. I just want you to listen real fast.
Quiet and just let everybody hear this for themselves.
Yeah. It's the one on the other side, right? The gray.
Good luck. There's a party last night.
Yeah. At that house.
Yeah. But
why is that redacted?
Right.
Just wait.
I don't know the names of the victims.
I can tell you.
Streamers, if you're only going live on one platform, you are invisible to a large portion of your audience.
Unreal. Unreal.
I don't know the names of the victims.
I don't know if you know this, but one of the victims is a CI. There you have it, guys. This is so huge, so big in this case. You know, Pav for a long time has said that it's not the frats, it's not this, it's not that. And he has strongly believed for a very long time that it's a rug hit. And this makes it so much more believable, so much more possible. Now that we know that one of the victims is a confidential informant, it's hard to say it's not a rug hit at this point, because what else would it be other than an ex or somebody who had a close relationship, a motive, and was very angry at one of them. This is wild. Yeah, he didn't want anybody around hearing him other than the officers standing right in front of him. One of the victims is a CI. This is huge information. Huge information. Absolutely nuts. Hi, Joey. That's my question too, Thumper, is so which one was it? And it could be any of them too. I'm not so sure I really lean towards Ethan being a CI, but unfortunately, knowing that him and Xana were using substances, then again, it makes it possible. If he wasn't using substances, I would say no, he's probably not the CI. But because he is, who knows if at one point he got pulled over and had something on him, and they give you the option. You can tell on the big players in the rug rings in the area and not get in trouble, or you can go to jail and be charged with possession. And sometimes, depending on where you're at in your life and your situation and whatever else, some people choose to be a CI instead of getting in trouble and going to jail and having it on your record. Some people are scared to be a CI for retaliation. Obviously, as we see in this case now, what can actually happen to you if you become a CI and people find out? Very much on the streets, confidential informants are very, very much hated in the streets, in the rug circles. So very interesting, wild, nuts, crazy information. I'm glad that somebody found this. I feel like it does give us at least maybe an answer or two. A lot of people thought that somebody in there was a CI, and people went back and forth for a long time. I don't think it's Ruggs. I do think it's Ruggs. I think one of the victims is a CI, or one of the roommates is a CI. People went back and forth for a long time on this, and it's true, apparently. Hi, Jolie. Oh my gosh, Jesse. Jesse says, did you see the photo of the wall? The one that they painted over a hair very clearly. Like I said, they painted over large areas. I did not see that yet. I still haven't, I think it was last night. I sat here for a little bit and went through pictures to, just zoom in on every square inch of each picture. But it was the ones we already went over, and I only got through a handful of them. Takes a while. So I have not seen that yet. There are some things that we do see in the pictures that are, makes it more clear or more believable that there was a cleanup and a cover up. I mean, we already know there is, right? It's just a matter of finding the evidence. A lot of times people don't believe things that they just hear until they see it for themselves. And when people are able to see it for themselves, then we can make a more clear decision on what we believe. So I have not seen that yet. I don't know if I've already passed it up on Wednesday's live. If not, we'll get to it today. This is just wild, though. I'm so glad somebody found this. I feel like small bits of information like this are going to continue to come out the more information that we get, even with redactions and everything that they, try and hide stuff from us. But I think we're too good for them. I think this community is just too good for them. We'll find it. We will find it. It very well could be staged. A lot of things, Joey says maybe it was staged. It very well could be. Some things look like it. Yeah, Christina says, in my opinion, any one of the 6 could be the CI, meaning any one of the 4 victims or the 2 roommates. And I agree with that. When I first heard that, my initial thought was that one of the roommates was a CI, and this guy's thinking it's one of the victims, just not knowing that the roommates are alive. So I don't know. Yes, Stephen, it is so, so cold here. Having trouble walking Bronx, definitely. I hope everybody's animals are bundled up and in the house and out of the cold, because it is very, very cold out there. It's like painfully cold. It burns when you go outside. Hello. Good to see you. Hey, K-Cass. Yep, he said one of the victims is the CI. I'm just not sure if he knows exactly who the victims are at this point. He very well could. He could know who all of them are by name and know everything about them. I don't know, but he also could not know exactly which housemates were unalived to be saying one of the victims was a CI. It could also be a roommate, just depending on what he knows at this point and what he's seen at this point. So, all right, guys, let's get into these pictures. Let me take this off and share the other one. So we left off at picture 1446, and that's because we were going from the bottom to the top rather than the top to the bottom. So we got through quite a bit. I did also notice something that Christie's Chaos posted. She posted a picture of Maddie's room, and in Maddie's room, they have those like, the decorative lights, the LED lights or whatever they are, but they look like bulbs, almost like light bulbs hanging off. And in those light bulbs, you can see the reflection on the light bulb of what is in the room. Now they're rounded, so it's kind of hard to make out. I found another picture that in the light bulb as well that seems like I could see a little bit more in it. I haven't gotten a chance to really dig into it yet, so I'm not going to share it just yet. I'll probably put it in a pre-recorded video, but I'm glad she found that because it opened my eyes to what we really should be looking at. Not just exactly where the victims are or where the red fluid is, but also in reflections of things and stuff like that. Because I think most people are smarter than anybody who's redacting this information, obviously, because they forgot to redact a whole picture. So yeah, I'm still completely astounded by this, what looks like writing on this dust leg. And I know a lot of people have tried to make out what it says. I know I saw somewhere that somebody thought it looked like the name Adam. Personally, I don't see that. I see different letters than what would be an A, a D, an A, and an M. It looks to me, it just depends on if this is actually writing. So we don't know 100% if this is writing or not, but it does look like it. And the problem that I'm having is I don't know which way, if it is, I don't know which way it's written. I don't know. She was kind of laying on her side, so I don't know if it's, from the top down or sideways. If it's sideways, the letter at the very bottom here looks like an N to me, N as in Nancy, and the second letter looks like an O, and then it looks like maybe 3 or 4 more letters, but I'm not exactly sure. I've tried to mess with it as far as filters to make it more vibrant and kind of stick out a little bit more, but even that was difficult. So I'll keep digging into it to see if I can make anything specific out. And then if I can, obviously, I'll dig into anybody with that name in the area or associated. So here we go. We are going to continue to go through these pictures, guys. So trigger warning. Trigger warning. If these are difficult for you to see and you need to back out and not watch, that is perfectly fine. Definitely protect yourself, your mental health, and your well-being. Oh, wow, we're getting into this picture so soon? Interesting. Sorry, I don't mean to sniff into the mic. I have a problem with their door. I have a problem with their door. As you see, they tested for fingerprints on the knob. Here we go. This is what I have a problem with. I'm going to go back to this one. First of all, oops. So first of all, do you see this on the right-hand side, this drip? It's strange looking to me because it's not the same color as the one next to it. Clearly it's red fluid, but why is it so diluted looking? Did somebody try and clean it up? I have seen more and more evidence of a cleanup all throughout the house with all of these pictures. It's just wild to me. I'm at the point where I'm like, there's no way that law enforcement didn't see all of this stuff, that the general public has found all of these things in these pictures that point to, several perpetrators, several different weapons. This whole house tells a story of what happened, and you can get the answers from the evidence left behind. And it's crazy to me that law enforcement either chose to ignore it, are terrible at their job, or they ignored it on purpose because they needed to give a different narrative, right? So the problem I have with this door and the blood, the red fluid dripping down on it, is with the roommate's statement. So our options are either the door was open or the door was shut, right? It could have been halfway open, but to me, that's open. So Dylan, her only options are either she saw Xana on the floor, which now, as we know, if you saw Xana on the floor, you saw what the heck happened, or the door was more shut and she saw all these long red fluid drops all over the door. I mean, does Xana normally have red fluid dripping down her door after you see an intruder in your home? Probably not. So I have a problem with Dylan and trying to lie about what she saw and did not see. Either she saw the red fluid dripping down the door or she saw Xana. It's one of the two. Either way, she's a liar. She saw. So that irritates me. And this is where they said on mainstream media that Brian Koberger sat down in the chair, which is BS. I believe this is a handprint. I believe somebody trying to get up put their hands on here or even fell into it or something. But I do not believe this is from a perpetrator. Excuse me. I believe this is from a victim. Thank you, Carol. 1 second. Sorry. Carol, so sweet. Thank you so much. Being a member for 4 months. That is so awesome. Thank you, Carol. That's so awesome. So yeah, I believe that this isn't a perpetrator sitting here. I believe it is a victim. Andy. Anyone who thinks Brian did this should just leave. They sure have. They've come up with some funny bull crap, that's for sure. And I feel like law enforcement had to go with their story or gave them the story, right? And they have to, have the same information that they're putting out. But I just forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say? Because it was important to me. I don't remember. I'll think of it. Oh, that's what it was. I wanted to say that I feel like a lot of this was either staged and then they came up with their story, or they came up with their story and then staged it. Either one, vice versa. Whichever one you want to pick is fine, because it kind of ends up leading to the same conclusion. But, Dylan said, I knew it was Kaylee because I heard her Doc Martens running down the stairs. Well, I feel like because she said that, that's why they planted the Doc Martens in the living room. But come to find out, Kaylee wasn't wearing Doc Martens that night. Kaylee was wearing those flat white shoes as we see at the grub truck. And Dylan was up there when everybody was getting ready for bed, so she would have known that Kaylee took her shoes off anyways. But because she stated that, I feel like they then had to put the Doc Martens in. If Brian was framed, press 1. Look at all these ones. 1, 1, 1, 1. Yes. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We're giving a big old 1 over here too. Absolutely. You know, I put Custody Queens had a lawyer on their channel, and I played it in my pre-recorded video the other day. And he was great. He gave a lot of information on the options that Brian Koberger has to file different appeals or whatever it may be to help himself. And just like we all thought, no, it's not over. He has options. Just not sure why he hasn't filed yet. And my only conclusion is it's because of the same thing, same reason that he pled guilty, was because he's terrified from the real people who did this. Obviously, look what they do. I also want to thank you guys when I post videos, or even people on replay that play the live after it's over. And I just want to thank you guys for all the feedback you guys give, the comments that you leave. I mean, every one of you have excellent comments, excellent feedback. Sometimes you guys think of stuff that I haven't thought of, and it makes my gears turn and will make me look into something, and then I'll find something new. And so I just appreciate all of you so, so much. I want to make sure you guys know that. So we're still, you know, this is all Ethan's clothing. So I don't know where this Ethan had a whole apartment. Well, clearly he didn't live there. Oh, those are perfect circles. Those are gravity drops for sure. That is somebody standing completely still and letting the red fluid drip. You know, see, law enforcement didn't need to sit there and test every ounce of red fluid in the house, but they surely should have tested something like this, because this either came from a victim or a perpetrator that was injured during the fight. Hi, Leslie and Billy. Thank you, dear. And anybody who's watching, if you have a different opinion and you want to put it in the chat, you're more than welcome. All we ask is that you be respectful. We won't be disrespectful to you, and we just expect the same. If you have a difference of opinion, that's perfectly fine. See, you guys, this is Xana's door. So even if this door was only halfway open, Dylan could still see the red fluid dripping down it. That's wild. So either she saw Xana on the floor, because where Xana was positioned would be directly in your line of sight looking into the door. It's not like you have to step in there to see her. You could see her down the hallway. Obviously, we have pictures of it. They're just redacted. So either she saw Xana or she saw this red fluid on the door. Period. I am so curious how in the world this would get so diluted looking. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys, I miss Tommy too. I do. I miss Tommy too. What a great guy. Pokey, you see van prints on the floor? Let me see. There's footprints all over on Maddie's floor. Oh, yep, look at that. Footprint. Did they even test this? Ugh. Whose keys are those? Guys, I'm going to, really quick, just give me 2 seconds. I'm going to grab a snip of these keys. I want to see what car it belongs to. Let me just save this really fast. One second. Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. I heard that somebody or several people saw Murphy's paw prints in Maddie's room. Now, I don't know if somebody meant like they could tell that he was on the bed or if they actually saw paw prints like on the floor. I haven't seen them yet. I haven't, I tried to look at 1 or 2 pictures, but I didn't see it. So if you guys have seen it, can you let me know where exactly these Murphy paw prints are at in Maddie's room? I've heard a couple people say that they did see Murphy prints. Thank you, Carol. Let's see. You think it's to the Jeep. Interesting. Very well could. Let me see. Do they look like Jeep keys? I'm trying to think. They could be. Could be. Ethan's keys, the Jeep. Okay. I'm still going to check just to make sure, but if y'all say it's the Jeep, it's the Jeep. Exactly. Laura says, we are not conspiracy theorists. We're just not fools. We have our own brain cells, and we're not okay with bullcrap. Exactly. I saw that, Christina, that Birdie tonight is going to expose the coroner. I'm curious what his people found for him to expose. Oh, thank you so much. Lady Zelda. It's your first time here? Well, welcome. We are so glad that you found us. You're right. It's all sus, all of it. There's the thing with this case is there are so many itty bitty, teeny tiny details that actually make a difference, though. So it's been over 3 years of these itty bitty, teeny tiny details coming out that then make, I guess, us conspiracy theorists, right? Because they all show that there's corruption and something wrong with this case. But there's just so many of them. If you miss like a couple of days or a month following this case and all the things that come out, you're behind because you'll end up getting lost. Thank you so much, Lady Zelda. That's so sweet. I appreciate you. And I'm so glad that you're here. So sweet. And Lady Zelda, we are very laid back over here. So whatever you want to throw in the chat is fine with us. If you have questions on anything, just type it out. We'll let you know. You're right, Soul Sister. Yep. I've never had a hard time following a case until this one. There's just so much, right? each channel will find something different. It's almost like an every other day type thing, right? One channel's digging into this and this channel's digging into that and so on and so forth. And each channel comes up with something that they find or that they're questioning. And yeah, it's almost like you have to watch everybody because everybody has something different to add to the digging into this case. But yeah, if anybody saw Murphy's prints in Maddie's room, can you let me know where they're at? I could not find them. Is this the DoorDash? Did Xana end up eating it? Or is this old? Looks like it might be Taco Bell. Because that cup looks like a Taco Bell cheese cup, doesn't it? Why do I know that? Why am I like this? Lady Zelda says, I wonder why they tore the house down so quickly. In my opinion, they tore the house down so quickly so nobody could go in and get any evidence or, if there's little points like, okay, Dylan said that the perpetrator was 6 feet tall. Well, where he was standing would have been on a step up from her room. So technically, that wouldn't be how tall he is because he's standing on a step up above her, right? So that would actually make him shorter and make him look taller, but he would be shorter in real life than what she said. It's little things like that, where they could have done an experiment and things like that. I think there was a lot in this house they needed to hide and cover up. And in my opinion, this was never going to go to trial. I believe that both Bill Thompson and Hippler are two peas in a pod and they work together. And they both knew it wasn't going to go to trial. So they tore the house down because to them, they don't need it anymore. Why tear the house down if you're just going to build a replica for the trial? Why not just keep the house, right? The university ended up being owners of this house and they tore it down immediately. A lot of people think that the university, the president or the higher ups at the university are involved in some fashion in this case. So in order to push their narrative and keep their narrative and, keep it how they want it, they have to tear it down. I mean, what if somebody came in the house that was not a guilter and found stuff, that could show that Brian Koberger didn't do this? That would be something the prosecution would definitely want to stop from happening. Because I believe had they left that house up, somebody would have broken in there. Somebody would have gone in there. Somebody who's not scared to show the lies. And I'm sure there's more reasons too. Yep. Andalion says they didn't want a jury to walk through and realize what a confusing layout it had. No one could find all the rooms. No one who, a person who had never had contact with the victims, didn't know who they were from a can of paint, had never been in the house before. The house has a very strange layout. So if they want to say Brian Koberger did it and Brian Koberger had never had contact with them, never been in the house, never looked up the house, never looked up the layout or anything, but yet came in there and maneuvered around the house and knew exactly what rooms to go into and who was in what room, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And the jury would have been able to see that if they did a walkthrough. Thank you, Carol. Yes, trigger warning. Hey, Detective Mowry, how are you? Y'all, Detective Mowry's here. Oh, on the balcony is where they saw the prints. Yeah, I actually saw that when they first released the other batch of pictures that had that showed the balcony. You could see his paw prints on there. Yeah, for sure. I thought for some reason they were talking about actually in the room, like tracking around red fluid or up on the bed or something. This stain right here just boggles my mind. Why is it so diluted? See what I'm saying, guys? Like Dylan would have either saw the door with all of this dripping down. Wouldn't that, I mean, if that was my roommate's door and let's say it was closed, I would be like, what in the heck? And I would go check on them. Don't you guys think that Murphy would have came down here and ate these fries off the ground? You know, a lot of dogs would sniff that out and go down and eat it. My dog would not. He does not like human food, but I'm curious if Murphy was ever fed table scraps. If he was just out running around, I'm surprised he didn't eat these fries on the ground, which could maybe, and I'm just speculating, could maybe tell us that maybe he wasn't there then. Maybe that's not Murphy barking and it's a neighbor's dog. This stuff looks like it was cleaned up or attempted to be cleaned. Oh, yeah, exactly. Lady Zelda says, plus, don't you think we would have seen footprints? What did it for me was the time that they said Brian did this to 4 people in 7 to 9 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. The time frame they gave is like, what? What? Even the most skilled and trained person in doing stuff like this would not be able to do that in that short of time, in my opinion. And this just proves that since there was no transfer from any of the victims to any of the other victims, other than Kaylee and Maddie, right? And obviously Xana and Ethan in their room, but there was no transfer from 3rd floor to 2nd floor or 2nd floor to 3rd floor. To me, there's different weapons used in both rooms as well. So this definitely proves without a doubt that there's more than one perpetrator and more than one weapon. And I know Pav said that today in his video, which is awesome because he has a lot more subscribers than I do. So he's getting the message out to a lot more people. But I did put out a video 4 months ago that said exactly what he said. So we called it over here. We knew it. Trigger warning. These are pretty bad. And this is Ethan's side of the bed. I agree, Jackie. Jackie says, I think with all the red fluid, Murphy's prints would have been everywhere if he was roaming that house free. I agree. However, I mean, Occam's razor, right? That would probably be the normal thing that would happen. But they also could have been cleaned up because we have evidence of very much of things being cleaned up. So they could have been cleaned up. I don't know what the point of cleaning up his prints would be, but it's possible. So yeah, I don't think he was roaming the house like that, which also makes me think maybe he wasn't there at all. There are, oh, wrong screen, dang it. To me, like, this looks like a print. I feel like there's prints everywhere and they just chose to not test them. They just chose to completely ignore them because they had their guy, right? They had been stalking him for months, pulling him over, pulling him over. I don't know who taught them to clean, but they do not clean very well if they had cleaned their house just the weekend previous because of parents' weekend. Oh my God. Is that a tooth? Do you guys see that? Is this a tooth, you guys? Somebody let me know if you're seeing what I'm seeing and if you think it's a tooth. I had not seen this before. That looks like a tooth. I'm going to take a screen clip of it really fast while I'm on it. 1 second. And before I forget, just so you guys know, we will be live over here tomorrow at noon Central Time. But we will be a guest on Dago's channel. His channel is The True Crime Cafe with Dago. So we will be a guest on his channel, but we will also be streaming it over here. So tune in tomorrow at noon Central if you are free, because that will be fun. I cannot wait to pick his brain and let him pick my brain. It will be a blast. Oh, that's right. They did say that, didn't they, Steven? Steven said they said Kaylee was missing teeth. They did. Actually, matter of fact, I think they said tooth. I think they said one tooth, if I'm not mistaken. Her tooth was knocked out, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but yeah, this looks like a tooth to me. Very interesting. And it very well could not be a tooth. It could be a piece of bread. I don't know. But at this angle, with this camera, this looks like a tooth. And I'm pretty sure that's why they zoomed in on it. Interesting, though. There's not a marker next to it, huh? Hold on. I want to make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Just below the tooth, do you see this line that looks like a square right here? It doesn't match with the rest of the floor. Did they cover something up? Are they covering something here? Like, I'm saying, did they take this picture and then edit the picture and put something on top of it that looks like the floor, but it doesn't match up just to cover something? Because this is not, it's a perfect square and it doesn't match the lines in the floor. It's off center. This is wild, you guys. Is that the same? Oh no, that's a different one. Interesting. Is it in both pictures? It is in both pictures. That is wild. It just doesn't look like part of the floor, like naturally to me. Sorry, I'm stuffy. I don't know why I'm stuffy right now. Oh, it's in there too. Weird. Maybe it's just the floor, but why does it look like a perfect square? Like it was edited on there. That looks like a tooth to me, for sure. Excuse me. 2024 says staged. Team Briggs staged. Oh, this is wild. This is so wild. Is it a tooth? I'm going to zoom in really fast just to see if it is a tooth. It looks like it. Huh. Very interesting. I'm gonna zoom. Okay, there we go. I wonder what was sitting right here in the red fluid that made a perfect circle. Gosh, there is hair everywhere. That looks like blonde hair, though. And we know Xana had dark hair. That's either Murphy hair or blonde hair. Interesting. And again, we don't mean any disrespect to the families or the loved ones of the victims. We are not showing this to be disrespectful. I know it is awful. It's awful what the victims went through. It's awful that the families had to go through it. The ones who aren't grifting. But we are showing these pictures because at the end of the day, we are a true crime channel and we want the truth and want to share everything that we have knowledge of or pictures of or whatever. It's just part of the case. And at the end of the day, these families aren't the first people in the world to have a loved one be unalived horrifically, and they're not going to be the last. And if you look up other national cases of people that were unalived in the same manner, their pictures are all over the internet, and all you have to do is Google them. So yeah, my sweet Nicole. Yep. My sweet Nicole is catching up as we're live, and she just saw the CI part. And see, that's why I show it. We know that Birdie has, a bunch of subscribers and people that tune in and watch, but, there's always some people that don't catch it. Or can't tune in and then forget to go back and watch it or just don't watch it or whatever. So that's why I make sure and share every piece of information that every creator finds or gets, just because I want everybody to have the same information. Weird. It's almost like it's a broken tooth. Like it's not an intact tooth, like a piece of a tooth. You couldn't hear him say CI incognito, bandito. I like that name. I'm going to go. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Oh, interesting, Jeff. Jeff says, I don't know the names of the victims inside. Interesting. I'm going to have to go back and watch it again and take the, or just not look at the subtitle thingies and see if I can hear what you hear, Jeff. Interesting. Thank you for pointing that out, Jeff. Appreciate you. Anybody who is new here, just so you know, Jeff is a guilter. Jeff actually does not believe the same things that we believe. But like I said, everybody's welcome here. A difference of opinion is great. If he can teach us something, just like he said, he hears something different, I want to go back and look and see if I hear the same thing he does. It's perfectly fine to not have the same opinion. Perfectly fine. Just be respectful. It's okay. Now it kind of looks like a chip, like a piece of a chip. It's a Lay's. It's a Lay's tater chip. No, it looks like a broken tooth. Yeah, pretty sure. It's probably why they're taking 8,000 pictures of it. My goodness. My goodness. And if you're just now joining, I appreciate you for tuning in. Also, we'll be live tomorrow. We'll be a guest on Dago's channel. However, we will be streaming it over here as well. So both Dago and I will have the same stream going at the same time. We'll both be live together. Just picking each other's brains. It'll be at noon Central Time, and it is going to be a blast. I cannot wait to pick his brain. Jeff is I love Dago too. He's so great. Love it. And they said Jeff is a pot stirrer. Jeff. It's all right. Jeff can stir the pot. It's all right. It's all right over here. We're too laid back. We're not like other channels. I don't really get riled up because of other people. He can have a difference of opinion. That's okay with me. And he's very much welcome over here. It is really funny though, Jeff, I gotta say, when Birdie says, "God damn it, Jeff," that is actually quite funny. It's funny just because how much you get under his skin. And we love Birdie as well. So this is quite a bit clearer in this picture. See, I see an N. I see an N. An O. I don't know. That could be a V, or it could be an A. Wait a minute. No, I see. Here's what I see, guys. I see a squiggle all the way down. Almost like there was something written here and somebody went over it with their finger and crossed it out, like squiggled all the way down. I see it now. That's what that is. So we would have to look under the squiggle lines made by somebody else. I mean, there's still something underneath of it, but I see it now. It's a squiggly line. And it goes all the way down. So I'm curious now what's behind that. What was written there? Yikes. You know, Steph, I thought it said Noah at very first glance. I thought it said Noah as well. But now that's not what I'm seeing anymore. I just stared at it for so long though too. So there's definitely just a squiggly line in there all the way down to the bottom, which tells me there was probably something underneath there, because who would take the time to make a squiggly line out of this or put a squiggly line in there with their finger? So I think there is something underneath of it, and it's probably a name. I don't think Xana was an idiot. I think that she would be the type of person that would think to write a name in red fluid, right? But yeah, that part is a squiggly line. I do see something under it though. I'll have to dig later now because I see something different now. I think this part is just the like finger marks. I don't think it says anything. Huh, interesting. Yikes. Yeah, that's how I have been looking at it. Anna says, look at it as if you were laying on the floor and wrote it sideways. That's how I've been looking at it. I have turned it different directions. I've messed with filters for it to see if I can make it pop a little bit more. So now that I see that squiggly line, I'm going to go back and do it again and see what I can come up with. Ew. That is awful. That's a big swipe. That's a big swipe right there. But it looks diluted as well. God, I wish we would know, like, the truth about this investigation. This stuff right here on the half wall is diluted or looks diluted, and they also wrote it down that it was possibly diluted as well. See what I'm saying? This would be Dylan's view, basically. And Xana, wasn't Xana like right over here? So either Dylan saw Xana or the door was pulled closed more and she would have seen the red fluid dripping. Look at all that slipping around. My goodness. How awful. Do you guys think that Xana was slipping, or do you think she was dragged? Because it looks like some drag marks. Oh, sweet. That's sweet, my sweet Nicole. Absolutely. There's a lot of videos out there. Hey, girl. How are you? Slipping, trying to get on their feet, but slipping on their... Okay. On top. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you. It's like she was trying to get away from her attacker and was pulled back. Yeah, I think it could be either or. I'm with you, Tigo. It could be both, right? Yeah. Yeah, it could be both, right? It could be slipping. I mean, I'm sure there is some from slipping and also some from being dragged. It's very possible. Let me back out. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Thank you, On Top. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Aw, girl, you got the flu. It's really bad this year. I know so many people that have it or have gotten it, and it's so, so bad this year. Please take care of yourself. Stay hydrated. It's really bad this year. She was barefoot. Tigo says, I'm sure the floor was slick and she was barefoot. Absolutely. And I did see in one of the pictures, you can see her foot mark and you can see each one of her toes. So we do know she was barefoot. I don't understand these stains. You could tell that it's red fluid, but it has no color to it. I don't understand them. They don't make any sense to me. Yep, that is the Jeep keys. So the Explorer keys and the Jeep keys are inside the house. Interesting. Very interesting. Is this her, I know I heard other people say this looks like it was her sitting on the floor, because remember she was in her underwear. Is this her sitting on the floor? See, this looks like a drag to me, and these look like slipping. There is one stain in here where you can see her foot perfectly with her toes. One second. I'm going to zoom in really quick because I'm not sure what this is. I'm just looking, guys. All right. I can dig later. All right. Incognito. Oh, thank you, S. Carolina Kaylin. South Carolina Kaylin. Thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by and being here and giving us a chance. We're very laid back over here. We just want the truth. That's it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Look how thick that is. I don't mean to be insensitive, but that is, do you guys see this floor? That's a puddle of red fluid. That is horrendous. That's a lot. That is disgusting. That's so gross. And that's where it came out of the house too. Yeah, we do need Cyray to speak up. You guys are right. Well, there's a lot of reasons if he didn't do it, why he would plead guilty. He didn't stand a chance. So his lawyer ended up being a public defender, and she continued over and over and over. She had nearly 30 motions in limine, meaning she's saying, hey, the prosecution has information that I need to be able to defend my client, and they wouldn't give it to her. She had to ask 30 times for information that they would not give to her. So timing wise, because she didn't have enough information, it was difficult for her to defend her client, number one. Number two is whenever she would ask for the evidence that they have, they would give it to her in like a 5-second segment, a clip with no audio, things like that. They made it very difficult for her to defend Brian. Also, I think he's terrified of the people who actually did this. It's just not possible for one person to do this on their own in the 4-minute time frame that the prosecution said it happened. Also, there's proof of different weapons being used. So I don't think Brian Koberger came in here with 3 different weapons and did all this in 4 minutes. It's just not possible. I think there's a lot of different reasons why he would plead guilty at that point. It was once said that his family was threatened. He was threatened, his family was threatened, and that was off limits for him. So he was like, I'm done doing this. He stopped participating in his own defense 2 weeks prior to the plea deal. So maybe he got tired. He knew he didn't stand a chance. So why not plead guilty and fight from your jail cell rather than getting the death penalty, right? Because he can still appeal. There's still other ways he can appeal. So kind of patiently waiting to see if he does. And if he doesn't, out of fear from the real perpetrators, it's understandable, I believe. But in my opinion, those are most of the reasons, I think. Thank you, sweetie. If you guys haven't made your way over to the channel called Open-Minded Perspectives, please do so. Her content is so good. She makes great videos. The editing is phenomenal. But you can find it under Brian Koberger 3D as well. So if you haven't yet, check it out. Give her a like, subscribe, do your thing, do your YouTube thing. Oh, interesting, Cypher. I'll have to look. I didn't look at that. I didn't see that. Where'd your comment go? Cypher says Murphy was taken by law enforcement on 11/13. Crime scene photos show 2 white dishes for Murphy in Kaylee's room. The next day, Murphy's white dish was outside on Kaylee's patio. Interesting. Very, very interesting. DJ says Brian Koberger was an effing ninja nerd with 2 heads, 4 arms, 6 legs, and a pair of wings. Boom. That's how he accomplished all of this in 4 minutes. That's funny. Oh, it's Giraffe Zebra. Giraffes, bruh. I laughed out loud. I promise you I did. That was hilarious. When Birdie went to read your name and instead of saying Giraffe Zebra, he said Giraffes, bruh. That was excellent. Very comical. Giraffe Zebra says alcohol levels at autopsy showed Ethan had the least. The least amount of alcohol. So him being passed out drunk then would be questionable. But then that would be why his legs were cut as well, to basically disarm him or make sure that he wasn't able to move to fight or defend or do anything. They had to make sure he was immobile quickly. Did I pass it? Where's the Converse? There it is. You see a different angle. Do they have a close-up of it? No? Let me go back up. I didn't see anything by the Converse. Let me look. Doopy doopy doo. Oop, doop doop. print by the Converse. Let's see. OMP said to look at the print by the Converse or under the Converse. I don't see anything. I don't see it. Let's see. Yeah, I wondered that too, though. I wondered how they got a hold of the back of Ethan's legs if he was laying in bed on his back. But who knows? He could have not started that way. That could just be how he ended up. It's going to take me forever to go through each and every one of these pictures, or most of them, and zoom in so I can study every inch, because I promise you there is stuff in here that we're missing that hasn't been caught yet, hasn't been seen yet, but it's there. All of this tells a story. The way the red fluid lands tells you how, it could tell you what wound it came from, how hard the hit was, or the stab, what direction, what type of weapon. See, somebody was just standing right here for at least enough time for those couple of drops to get there, because those are flat out gravity droplets. Whether it's a person or a knife, that's what that's from. But I really wish they would have tested it. They probably did and just aren't giving us the information because it points to somebody else. Those almost look purposeful now. Like these marks, these drips on the door almost look like they were put there on purpose. In my opinion. A smiley face? I missed it. I'll have to go back later and look. I'll have to go back and look. I think a lot of people think that Bethany wasn't there, which is totally possible. Totally possible. Her room is directly under the living room. So we all know now that Kaylee was initially attacked in the living room. So Bethany can't say she didn't hear anything or didn't know anything. She would have heard that right above her little head. Her little toothache. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now we have the Amido Black. See, this is what the Amido Black looks like when it's truly on red fluid, bodily fluid. It looks black. Amido Black. There's a lot to look at in here. I'm curious what these striped marks are from. It looks like some sort of fabric, but it also makes me think of what Steve G said, how Kaylee had striped marks on her face. What would that be from? I mean, they very well could be, just shoe prints all over. There's just a lot of it. It's in everything. What do you guys think? You think it's from Converse shoes? Huh. Very interesting. Was Kaylee stomped on by a Converse? How do you guys think Kaylee got back upstairs? She was obviously in the living room and by the pong table at one point. This is so very interesting to me. I'm just looking and looking because I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I get this feeling like I'm missing something. Like I know something's in there. Something good, like good information for us to know is in there. I just haven't seen it yet. My goodness. Curious what all the round stuff is. Maybe a cup was sitting there at the time. My goodness. Oh, that's interesting. Wiccan Moon says, where'd your comment go, girl? Wiccan Moon says, I think she was made to go upstairs, possibly even dragged. That's possible. Anna Roberts says, whose shoe prints were those in the Amito Black? I'm not sure. OMP says she thinks it looks like that they're Converse, which is very possible. So now I'm going to have to go back and look at everything more closely. Clint says it's a Vans shoe. Oh, that's not nice. Hey, be nice. But Clint says it's a Vans shoe. Could be. I'll have to Google, what each shoe looks like on the bottom for me to know. I can't say either way yet because I haven't looked it up yet. Are they supposed to put that much Amito Black to where it puddles? Thought you were just supposed to spray an even coat. I didn't think you were supposed to pour a lake on top of it. I see a lot of blonde hair on the floor here. Not necessarily just in this picture, but in the room in general. It could be Murphy. It could be from this chair. It could be Kaylee's. Wiccan says, I thought it was a Vans shoe as well. I think they all have Vans, right? They all have Vans. I'm curious if Hunter went in and checked the pulse of Xana. Why don't we see his prints? And you cannot tell me it's because all the red fluid was completely dried. I don't think it was completely dried. I think he still would have made prints. See? That's a hair. That looks like a brown hair to me, though. Is that the blue substance right there? That's what they were using? There you go, guys. There's the actual, factual, live and in-person, not really person, on TV, on the computer. There's the rugs, like remnants of it, guys. There you go. There's the rugs. I'm very curious if they buy them in, or if they used to buy them in pill form, or if they bought them like in capsules, or if they bought them already crunched up. I don't even know. That doesn't look like capsule to me, but looks like a pill, but Pav also made a video stating that he believes it's very possible that somebody came in through the extra bedroom on the first floor, and as they were coming in, they broke the sensi. You know, I have to be honest though, even though Pav said it, and it's a great thought process, it's a great thought, or great speculation, but I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere before. Oh, what are we putting a 1 for? What's our question? If Kohlberger was framed, press 1. Absolutely. I'm curious what's redacted here. Are they just redacting the large stains on the bed? I feel like they were doing that upstairs too. All right, let me move along because I'm just fascinated with a lot of this spatter and patterns. They just, in my opinion, say so much. They give us... I agree. If anybody thinks that one person can do this, it's not just the fact that it's one person, it's the fact that it's a very uncoordinated person with no training, with no, that's a lot, with no knowledge of the victims, didn't know the layout of the house, had no clue who would have been in the house when he got in there. You know, this could have been a house, and each girl could have had a male staying with them, and each of those males could have had a pew-pew, right? He didn't know that. So it's like, I don't understand how people can believe that one person did that with the things that I just said, plus they've narrowed it down to basically like a 4-minute time frame to do this in. I just think that each and every one of the victims could have kicked Brian Kohlberger's ass. So it's hard for me to believe that it was him and him alone. Didn't track any of this DNA, red fluid, nothing into his vehicle, not a speck. And now we see the sheath, and it looks very much planted. This red fluid on the door just frustrates me. I'm still curious, what contact did Dylan save in her phone at 3:51? Right as the rug dealing Molly McMichael pulls up. And now that we possibly know, I don't think it's without a doubt yet, because now I'm seeing that other people think they hear other things in the video where it says one of the victims was a CI. I'll have to go back and re-listen without the captions on it. But it's very possible it was said that one of the victims was a CI. Molly McMichael is there. She's been involved in 2 unalivings in this town, but yet nothing happens in Moscow. And she pulls up at the same time that Dylan is saving not at the same time, but was already there when Dylan saved a contact in her phone. She said she makes $2 an hour doing DoorDash. So why would you do DoorDash unless you were also delivering rugs to people and everybody knew it? And then we have a possible victim that's an informant and now they're deceased. Like, interesting, right? Some things are just kind of falling in place on their own. This to me looks like cast off. Now that is wild. See, I want to know if this smudge is going from left to right or right to left, because it makes a difference. If they want to tell us that it was one person, then did this person do this by walking into the room or walking out of the room? Because we still don't know what order the victims passed in, which there's no reason we shouldn't know that. They should have been able to tell us. And I don't even think they have that information. If they do, they're not sharing it. And it's probably not being shared for a reason, because it wouldn't fit their narrative. That's a body bag. I'm not sure how it already has red fluid in it, but it does. What number is that picture? I think that picture's coming up. I'm just going to go. Bronx is going to bark. Sorry, guys. Oh, this tape absolutely needed Molly to be there. I don't, yeah, they absolutely needed her to be there. And now I went back after some of this information came out, and I went back and listened to her interview with the FBI, and some of the things she stated are just strange. Like, it's almost like she's overcompensating. She's giving too much detail that don't matter to prove that the FBI is correct and law enforcement here is correct in their investigation. But it's like she's trying too hard, in my opinion, to make people believe it. See, so this is Ethan's phone. So Xana had Ethan's phone, and then Xana's phone was on the bed near Ethan. And it looks like this phone broke. I don't know if it was already broken or if that happened during the struggle. There's that Doc Martin, that dang Doc Martin. All right, Jeff, good to see you. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you. You are always welcome over here, Jeff. It's okay. It's okay. You still make my wheels turn in my brain and get me to look at other things. So I appreciate you nonetheless. Oh, so what? They're blurring the rugs right here, but they showed them perfectly in the other picture. These people suck. Why are they making people pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for 5-minute interviews? But they're sitting here not redacting. Like, what are you doing with your time then? Because you're surely not redacting stuff very well. What are you being paid for? My goodness. I think all the eyebrow pictures and the pictures of eyes and the drawings of eyes and eyebrows in Dylan's room all over the place is just so creepy. That is super creepy to me. What is your fascination with eyes and eyebrows? And then it ends up being part of this case. Like, how strange. That's not a coincidence, because over here, we don't believe in coincidences. Let me take this comment off. There we go. Whoop. A lot of people, Smiley Miley says, I believe it was 3 males and 1 female that were the perpetrators. And now that these pictures have come out, I'm hearing that from a lot of people. There's a lot of people, a lot of comments saying that. And it's very possible, specifically because in Molly's interview, she said she saw a female, bobbing her head up and down in the window. And a lot of people think that that was a female perpetrator being a lookout. I thought I had heard before that there was unknown female DNA somewhere, but I feel like I heard that a long time ago and never figured out if it was true or not. Those are definitely drag marks. I wish these pictures were more clear. And here we are up in Kaylee's room. And that's Maddie's jacket on the bed. So I, along with everybody else, thought Maddie's jacket was the jacket by the fire hydrant. Apparently, it's not, unless this is a different jacket. But everybody's saying that this jacket is Maddie's. One second, I'm going to zoom in and just see what this white thing is on the floor. The foundation in this house is awful. What is that? A fingernail tip? I can't zoom in anymore. Interesting. Kind of looks like a fingernail tip to me. Not sure what that is. I'm going to zoom back out and we'll keep on scrolling. Well, there is a reason to plead if you're innocent. There's a lot of reasons. I mean, there's false confessions every day. Number one. Number two, if your public defender has continuously asked for more time and more time because she cannot properly defend her client because they are not giving her the evidence that they have against Bryan Kohberger for her to fight it, there's no point in going to trial for them because she can't defend her client. She had other big cases going on as well. And the state would not give her the evidence she was asking for. So in a lot of people's minds, just pleading guilty makes more sense than possibly going to trial and getting the death penalty. Because he can fight it from his cell for the rest of his life if he wants to. It was the lesser of two evils, basically, is what it was. She didn't stand a chance defending him because they wouldn't give her the information. They wouldn't give her the evidence they have against him. And she asked over and over and over and over. And then she finally said, I'm not getting the evidence that I'm asking for. And I need more time. And the judge said, no, you won't get more time. Well, then Bryan Kohberger is just going to file, ineffective counsel. Like, it just didn't make sense. In my opinion. Oh, okay, good. I passed the picture and I don't think anybody noticed. The one of Xana. You really can't, for those of you who have not seen it, you can't see really much of anything. It's just kind of like her cheek, like one side of her face, but you can't really tell what you're looking at because it's just covered in red fluid. And her arm with 2 puncture wounds in the shirt, but you can't see them under her shirt in her skin. So obviously these are Murphy's prints on the bed, like his weight, and that's what we're seeing like on the sheet and stuff. So Murphy was obviously laying in here. Aw, his ball. Poor guy. I'm going to be honest. I don't think this case from the beginning was ever going to go to trial. And I'm pretty sure Bill Thompson knew that. He knew the steps a public defender would take. He knew the public defender would say, hey, I don't want to try this in Moscow, in Latah County, because everybody here thinks Brian Koberger did it, so he doesn't stand a chance. So can we get this moved? Bill Thompson knew she would do that, and knew that when she did that, it would be moved to Latah, and he would get Judge Hippler, who he has in his back pocket. I've never seen such a classless judge in my entire lifetime. No, Brian Koberger didn't know any of the victims. He had never had contact with them. He'd never looked them up. He wasn't friends with them. He didn't follow them on social media. Like, literally, he had never, ever had contact with these people or the house. They tried to say that he drove in the area of their house, but never by it, and never closer than a football field away. But that's not true. What he was doing was he was going to Target over and over, like every day or every other day. That's where he would grocery shop, and he'd go to Target, and it would hit on the cell tower, not the one that services the house, but the one next to it. So his phone would ping off that tower, and law enforcement kept saying that it was him driving a football field away from their house over and over, but that's not what was happening. He was just going to Target. So no, he got wrapped up in this because on the sheath, there is one lone skin cell that they tested somehow. Somehow they figured out there was a skin cell there. I don't know. So they tested it and built a profile, and apparently came up with it being Brian Koberger, but that's kind of not really what happened either. They initially came up with that it was tied to 4 brothers in Pennsylvania. Pav put out a really good video explaining the DNA, as it very well could have been from somebody that made the knife sheath as well, or someone who packaged it, or because how they got to Brian Koberger's DNA was they pretty much just like made it fit like that, really. And that's it. They say that it's Brian Koberger's car that is pulling into the parking lot that night of the crime, but it's not. I'm not saying it's not because I just want to say that it's not, and I don't think it is. It's because people have proven it over and over that it's not his vehicle. There's a lot of like little details that that if you know I just I've been looking into this case since the day it happened. The moment they arrested Brian Koberger, I thought, what? Absolutely no freaking way did one person do this, number one. And surely not somebody who is extremely uncoordinated. He's also autistic, and he has OCD so bad that he won't even eat out of a pan that has had meat cooked in it ever in its life. So I have a hard time believing that he would unalive people with all the red fluid and all that. Like, not for somebody who is autistic with severe OCD. It's hard to believe. There's just a lot of things that prove that it wasn't him. He was being pulled over many times before the crime. And he had only lived there for about 6 months. They didn't find any of the victim's DNA in his car that he supposedly drove to the scene, in his home. I mean, they literally found no connection. And Idaho State Police even says, we wanted there to be a connection. We wanted something to fit. So basically saying we were trying to force something here. But nothing ever did. No connection whatsoever. What in the world did I just look at? Oh, I thought it was something else. So many small details in this case. You think they have the right guy, but how they got there, you question it. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of people in the world who think they have the right guy. I'm not one of them, but there's a lot of people that think that, and that's okay. That's okay. You know, people can think whatever they want and believe what they want, and it just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't fit for me. I don't see how one person could do this in 4 minutes. The car that they say is his, driving from his house to the crime scene that night, is been proven that it's not his, because the car they have on camera has fog lights and his car doesn't even have fog lights to turn them on. Not that they were off. His car doesn't even have them at all. So Murphy's crate. You guys, I felt so bad for Murphy when they took him out of the house, and there's all those people that he knew standing around, and not one person said a word to him. Like, oh, yay, Murphy's found, or oh, yay, Murphy's not hurt, or no, nobody cared. That hurt my feelings for him. Hey, Monty. Yay, you caught alive. So good to see you. He says, wow, long time. I love all of my group. How is everyone doing? Hello, hope you are all okay. Yes, we hope you are doing well as well. I'm so glad that you hopefully seem to be on the mend now. Yes, Monty. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, this is that's exactly how to explain it, right? Friggin' weird. I agree. Monty, yay, I'm so glad that you caught alive. That's an interesting aspect to look at it, Cypher says. The perps didn't even try to place the correct phones back with the right victims after the perps staged the messages on the victim's phone, in my opinion. That's an interesting way to look at it because, Xana had Ethan's phone and Ethan had Xana's phone next to them, right? That's interesting. I'm curious now exactly where Maddie's phone was and Kaylee's phone was. Hey, T-Kun, good to see you. Oh, no, Wicked Moon. All the way in Ireland? That's awesome. That's incredible. I would love to go there someday. I think that would be awesome. More Vans and more Converse. Interesting. And another thing is law enforcement purposely destroyed evidence in this case. Ann Taylor asked for specific pieces of evidence, and before they gave it to her, literally like the day after she asked for it, they went and got it for her. But before delivering it to her, they poured Blue Star all over it, and it ruined it because you're not supposed to put Blue Star on fabric. And nobody told that officer to do it. He took it upon himself and then was like, oh, oops, I accidentally ruined this piece of evidence. There's blood on it, but we can't test it because I ruined it. Like, stop it. Some of these I don't think are really worth. That just annoyed me. Like, this person is calling me and knows I'm doing a live. Like, why are you calling me? So rude. Right, Pumpkin? Exactly. And I think, so Pumpkin says maybe he pled guilty because he simply just didn't want to die. No, not a good enough reason. I agree with you. Like, I'm trying to explain that there is other stuff to it too, rather than just, well, he didn't want to die, which I'm sure he didn't and doesn't. But in my opinion, there's more to it too. Like, there's a lot of different reasons, I feel. But I think not wanting to die is probably a pretty good one. My opinion, I don't know. Derry Potter, welcome. Good to see you. Oh, you like my energy? Oh, my friends and family are like, will you please just sit down and shut up? Like, me over here bouncing off the walls most of the time. No, I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm so glad that you found us. Okay, I do have a problem with this print. They want to say this is a footprint, which is fine. Shoe print, which is fine. Very, very well could be. I'm just not seeing the roundedness to like the front of the shoe or the back of the shoe. I'm struggling with that part, I think. So I was sitting here trying to think of other things it could be rather than a shoe print, but I haven't come up with anything yet. I know that I heard somewhere, and I'm not sure where, that they now think that it could be a police officer's shoe. I guess it could be. I think the positioning of this print is very weird. It's like awkward. Because I thought it was like, straight on, like you're walking into a room, but it's not. It's sideways. And it's right by the threshold, but back by like where the hinges are of the door. It's just weird. I'm going to have to look it up. Are you supposed to use a Amido black to the point where you're creating an entire puddle in a room? What I do find interesting about this is the bottom of Dylan's shoe was sprayed with Amido black on accident. Oh, I can't zoom in any further on this one. But as you can see, it is dark blue on her shoe down there. So at some point, did she step in red fluid? Possibly. Allegedly, in our opinion. Don't come for us. I'm going to actually stop at 550. We have 550 pictures left to go. I'm going to stop here because we've been on for almost 2 hours and I have to take Bronxy outside. So thank you so much for everybody who tuned in. Thank you to the mods. You guys are amazing. I appreciate all of you. Thank you to everybody who is new here. I'm so glad that we crossed paths. Whether you have the same opinion as us or not, that's okay. You're always welcome. Thank you for all the super chats, super stickers, and gifted memberships. I appreciate it. It was good to see everybody. I hope everybody does something nice for themselves. Be kind, but more importantly, be kind to your animals. Make sure that they are warm if you're in the cold areas. Make sure you stay warm if you're in the cold areas. We will be live with Dago tomorrow at noon Central Time. So if you're in the East Coast, it'll be 1. I'm really excited for that. Super, super excited for that. You can view our live either on my channel or his channel. Either way, hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow at noon and be ready for me and Dago to pick each other's brains. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody. It's so, so, so good to see you. Have a wonderful Friday evening. I'm trying to get my face to show up on here, but it's not. There we go. All right, guys. Stay warm. Have a great night. Hopefully I'll see most of you tomorrow at noon.